was once two people. One of them was a boar, right? He's shaped like, maybe Jean-Claude Van Damme in his heyday, right? He's got some muscle. Not too big, not too big. He's not fat bastard big, but he's got muscle. I have less, body fat than he does historically, but that doesn't matter. That's not the point of this. I'm not, I don't care about the flesh other than where that it's an expression that I can prove a point with. Okay. The spirit is everything, the flesh means nothing, but the fact that these people deliberately got on board with a cult of the flesh and tried to make it seem like their body type is magically superior to the point where they scramble to sabotage my videos and try to confuse that's pathetic. How many of you would want that heritage? Again, how many of you would want the heritage of being shaped like Van Damme in his heyday and sabotaging the person who's actually the top martial artist so you can pretend that people who are shaped like you magically are that instead? That is not an honorable heritage. That is a fate far worse than death for any group of people. That is unbelievably disgraceful. That is painfully, when I even think about it, it like hurts me to think about it. Because it's, who wants to bear that kind of disgrace? What kind of person would curse their offspring with that heritage? That is unbelievably sickening and painful. So here's this guy, and he likes the way he does a jump roundhouse. He's working out in the gym. He's flexing in the mirror. He's in the movies making millions of dollars or whatever, right? Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat, arrogant to some degree, and he's like, wow, I'm in the spotlight, and he's geeking like an autistic guy or someone slightly autistic who is working out. It's like, right on, man, right on, like just, dude. Okay, they're just in their own way, the way they would say it in their own voice and accent. Okay. There's somebody else who strikes at world record speed. He's 4, 5, 6 inches taller than he is. Surgical, faster. Has a certain, the way the muscles line up is different. So in some positions, Van Damme might be stronger. In some positions, this person might be stronger. We'll call him the fair reproductive cycle representative. The true form of Pharaoh. The Pharaoh, not the fairy, but the fair alpha. And not fair in terms of white. You see all that wordplay, all that despicable wordplay that they injected in to their extreme disgrace? Extreme disgrace. Doing spelling, magic spells that disgrace them. So, here comes Van Damme, all huffing and puffing. They say, okay, how do you want to fight? Okay. And so Van Damme says, well, let's do it without weapons. Because he's like, look, this guy's just going to stab me up, done. So they get prepared. Boom. They start facing each other. They start walking toward each other. Both of them really pumped up. Okay? Boom, immediately, the fair reproductive cycle representative strikes him in the knee, strikes him in the neck. He's choking, strikes him in the spine, he's paralyzed, done. Someone else from his cult hears about what happened. Scott Adkins or someone shaped similar to him. He says, okay, let's try it with weapons this time. Okay? The Pharaoh reproductive cycle representative decides to make a point. Here he brings a knife. Why Scott Adkins has a sword. He waits, he charges in. Scott Adkins swings, he dodges. He dodges with his stomach. He kind of pushes his stomach backwards and the sword misses. And he charges in real fast with skywalking footwork, stabs him up dead. Boom, done. What's the moral of the story? The moral of the story isn't about me bragging about how I'm the best and I could beat people in no time flat, fair and square, and so on and so forth. The moral of the story is that God is a warrior.